Hey, welcome back to the Culturalist Podcast Conversations with Pam Ross. I'm Pam Ross, and I just had the most amazing conversation about the power of clarity of mission and how aligning your mission, being clear on your mission, and really being able to communicate your mission will bring you exactly what you need concerning money, concerning people, concerning momentum, concerning harmony among your team. Sometimes the symptoms say one thing, but the issue really is your mission is unclear. Why are we even here? And if you don't tell people why they're here, they're just going to decide, I'm only here for this. And it may not be the reason why you even want them there. My guest today is a brilliant young man. His name is Rodney Young Jr., and he is the founder and the CEO of Thrive NPO. He is a for-profit organization that serves not-for-profits. And today we talked about his background. You'll get to know him. He's amazing. But also we talked about the power of having a clear mission for when it comes to developing funds. If you know a not-for-profit, if you care about a not-for-profit, you probably know that they're dealing with funding issues due to our current administration. Well, Rodney is the solution. He is. Trust me, dive into this conversation and enjoy. And just for those of you that are supporting us on Patreon, we did an amazing bonus section where Rodney gives us 3 things every CEO can do within the next 30 days to help make sure that your vision is clarified. I hope you enjoy it. This is the Culturalist Podcast. Thanks. Hi, I'm Pam Ross, the Culturalist. I love good conversations with interesting people. In this podcast, we use the art of conversation to explore what's happening in culture. Thanks for joining us. Rodney, what's up, man?
Dr. Pam, it's good to be in the house. It is good to be here.
It is. It really is. Thank you so much for being my guest. I read your bio and it was like nearly 2 decades of leadership and not-for-profit. And I thought, first of all, this guy looks too young. He must have are you counting your Boy Scout years? Like, do those count? What's happening?
When I was 10, I was very interested in nonprofit work.
And then my second thought was, we are an animal of the same stripe, because I used to say, I'm a not-for-profit person. I just loved it. And this is what I used to say. I love working for an organization that's mission-focused, demographics-driven.
Yeah.
And my first not-for-profit experience was with the Girl Scout organization. Once a Scout, always a Scout.
Yep.
I used to say, they're going to bury me in green shorts. I love, can you imagine being my boss and I come to work and say, I love my job. Like, I would literally say it loud when I got in the office.
Look,
I'd be like, good morning,
Girl
everybody.
Scouts, I'm just saying, Girl Scouts, I'm just saying, where the Thin Mints at? Where the
Hello,
Thin Mints?
sir. I'm wearing them.
Where the Samoas?
Come on.
Those two.
Yes. One of the things we used to say over and over, we are mission focused, demographics driven.
Yep.
Meaning we do a particular thing for a particular group of people. And I didn't make that connection to fund development.
Yeah.
Until reading over your information, I was like, yeah. Because we never had a problem with fund development.
Yeah.
Not a single time. And a part of what you do is help organizations clarify their mission so that it helps them do what? Let's just start there. Let's just start right there.
Well, let's nonprofit work first. This world. You know our lane. You know our world, and no one gets into it on purpose.
No,
it's always an accident.
Hello. For me, it was my excuse for not buying stuff. I'd be like, No, I'm not buying that. I work for a not-for-profit
Nonprofit.
organization.
Right. Exactly. So no one gets into it on purpose. You know, I fell into it after closing a venture. I was, actually had an entertainment venture, and said, okay, you know what? I'm going to work for my alma mater. Just as a stopgap. Just until I
Yeah.
start my next venture, because I'm a serial entrepreneur. I just can't help it.
Yeah,
And
good.
then 9 years later, I was still at this place because it was a wonderful place, DePaul University.
Wow.
That's where I
Yeah.
got my start. But you
What
know,
did you find wonderful about it?
well, once again, that whole mission focus is everything.
Yes.
When you're in corporate, depending on where you're at, mission is like might be something that's on the wall, right?
True.
So,
Or yeah, it's on the wall, it's
it
on the
might
website,
it might be on the wall, it might
it's
be buried on
hanging in the
some.
lunchroom. Mhm.
Exactly right. But
Mhm.
it's not
Mhm.
front and
Mhm.
center. And it was great to see something that was front and center where you knew that the work that you were doing was making an impact.
Yeah.
And that right there just kind of got me hooked. I'm like, this is really cool. This. I didn't even know you could create a career in nonprofit.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
when I thought nonprofit, I just thought volunteers and give them some
Exactly.
money. But
Yes.
I didn't realize there was a whole force of people that actually drive those efforts.
Mhm.
So yeah,
And let me
that's
tell
that's
you,
that's how
as
I got
as
into it, man.
as someone who works in leadership development, like leadership is my dance. I
Yes.
learned leadership development in the not-for-profit sector.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, where sticks and carrots don't work. I ain't had no sticks. They
Yep.
didn't give me any carrot. What was carrots? Free cup of coffee? Like you didn't have anything.
Right. Right.
And all you had was mission and demographics.
Exactly. And that
And
passion kept people. Like they'll
yes.
stay, take a pay cut, and stay because they believe in the mission.
Yes.
Right.
Realigns their whole realigns people's value systems. And
Hmm.
then I get to teach that same thing to people in the for-profit sector
Hmm.
that have the sticks and carrots, but convincing them don't use them because they don't work.
Listen.
Because
What? Come on. Come on. Right.
don't use them because it really, what you're gonna get is people that act right when you're around.
Exactly. Exactly. Right. 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 Oh, they coming. They coming.
Oh, he coming. All right, look busy,
Yeah.
everybody.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
yeah, that's
Right.
what you're gonna get. So you were working in the not for profit sector, and now you are the founder. Are you the? I think you are
Yes, I am.
the founder of Thrive. How did you? What inspired you to say, "I'm going to create a not for profit that serves not for profits"?
Gotcha. Well, just some clarity. We aren't a non-for-profit. We're a consultancy.
Good.
But we work for nonprofits, and it
Mm-hmm.
was a natural fit after working in many different areas of nonprofits over the years. I started off in data actually, so I started off
Really?
crunching numbers, developing reports, mining huge databases of information, looking for donors, potential donors, supporting fundraisers. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
started there. So I had a different entryway, into the whole world because I'm seeing the numbers, I'm seeing information about people, I'm seeing
Yes.
interesting information about, encounters that people had. And so
Yeah.
I was like living vicariously through fundraisers, looking at this information, right?
That's
So
it's really interesting because a lot of people, their entryway is the front lines.
exactly.
And you got to see like the engine of the machine. Because
Exactly.
regardless of how big or small you are, you
Yeah.
really can't do anything without people and money.
No, absolutely. So we were
Yeah, you
mining
need
data
both.
to help to direct fundraisers to who to talk to, and those
Wow.
efforts that we did funded a $300 million campaign. So, just
Whoa.
it's amazing what you can do when you pair the data geeks, with really
Yeah.
talented frontline fundraisers. But I learned about the field there, and so that I
Mhm.
started there. Then ended up leading a shop, where we were actually a small university, but led a whole data operation there, had a great team. and then got into marketing and communications, and that was my jam. Let me tell you. That was
Really?
my jam. And so it took me a while to get to what I loved within that realm. And something about the marketing and communications clicked with me because I'm actually a creative. So I'm a musician.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked, in the entertainment industry. I love video. I love all things creativity, right? And so marketing kind of brings all those elements together to produce something. I mean,
It does.
video production, everything. And so heading up marketing communications and helping nonprofits to really understand how to communicate their brand, it that
Mm-hmm.
that that was the fit right there.
It
And I
sounds
loved it.
amazing because if being a creative, I would have not, if you had not told me, I wouldn't have guessed it based on the whole data piece. But
Right.
I think yeah, but you've got that tremendous foundation of understanding people
Yeah.
and with this creative gift of connecting with people through words and visuals. And
Yeah.
so is that what you bring? Do you feel like that's the spark that you bring to your organization?
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely. And data is a unique skill set. I mean, it's right. It's not the thing that you think about when you think about a creative. And, for me, I'm a man of faith. So everything to me in my life is, has everything to do with faith. And I believe
Yeah.
that I believe that the things that I've done have been paths, that God has brought me
Mm-hmm.
on. And I'll never forget those 9 years of pulling data. Like there were many days I was
Wow.
just like, why am I doing this? Like
I was gonna say, did you ever say to yourself, this
I'm like,
isn't even
Lord, why
really
am I
my
doing this?
personality?
Like,
What am I doing here? But now,
yeah,
when you walk with God long enough, you always realize I'm gonna need this. My today always trains me for tomorrow.
excellent.
Always.
Yeah,
But the
always.
time that we're in it, we're scratching our heads like, I don't know why you have me here, God.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm gonna be
seriously.
faithful. I'm gonna do the work.
Right,
I'm not
right.
gonna
And that's the
rob the
thing. You
people,
want to
but
be a good steward and,
yeah,
have excellence and all that. But, at times it's just like, why am I doing this?
yeah.
Well, this morning, I was pulling heavy amounts of data for a really, really key client. And
Mm-hmm.
I was doing it seamlessly, to get the analytics for a site, and help them to understand who to connect to and stuff like that. And it literally, I just had a thought. I was just like, if I never had those 9 years of work,
Come on.
and if I would have jumped out too soon,
Yes.
I wouldn't have developed the expertise that I can offer my clients today.
I love it. And
So,
it's so unique because it's two-sided.
yep.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
love it. So
Yeah,
you really bring to your clients something that they're not gonna that they would normally have to go to two different people to get.
exactly. Right.
Yeah, and you're able to do that. I love it. It's also a life lesson for anybody that feels like you're kind of stuck in
Oh
Joseph's
man.
pit, like what am
Stop.
I
Let's not talk about Joe. Let's not talk
yeah,
about Joe. That's
what
my
am I
boy
doing
right
here?
there.
9 years is a long time. And to say, what am I doing here? How's God gonna make all things work together, for my good? But he was stacking you up with information. So
Man.
if you were to communicate Thrive's mission to me, how do you communicate it?
We help to untangle. We
Ah,
help to untangle the messaging problem and the growth problem for nonprofits. A lot of nonprofits, they put their heart and their soul into what they're doing, right? Like
mm-hmm,
they feel like they're reaching, they're reaching the right donors and they're engaging people, but they can't stand out. Like
mm,
they're
yeah,
struggling to stand out. Like they don't know how to really tell the story, and they're spending money. They're wasting resources, right, on things that are not hitting the mark. Because at the end of the day, they're gonna get to that board meeting, they're gonna get to that quarterly, and they're gonna look at
yep,
those donor numbers, and
yes,
it's just like, how is all this activity not bringing growth?
yeah, yeah,
So what we like to do, because of the way that we look at things, from the outside, is we're able to
mm-hmm.
come in and say, "Man, you're doing a wonderful job. Let's help you align some things. Let's help you untangle.
Okay.
I'm very good at untangling. Let me tell you.
I
Okay.
love that you use that word untangle because I don't know if there's anybody alive that hasn't dealt with the frustration of trying to untangle something.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
on a plane trying to get the air, the little ear things to plug into the
Oh yeah.
monitor, but you gotta take the time to untangle.
It takes some
And
time
so
to
it's a
untangle.
fantastic word because it brings both a picture and it brings an emotion.
Oh man,
And so
frustration.
people can, yes, it's so, it is such a much better phrase than saying we relieve the frustration.
No, we
But to
untangle it.
say we untangle, because you have all the right stuff.
Yeah,
Doesn't
it's
mean you're
just
missing anything.
it's
You just
just
got to
it's
get what
just
you
it's
got
just
sorted
jumbled
out.
up, and you got to find a way to take, okay, my mission, okay, are these words matching with these words? Is
Yeah.
what, a lot of times you have an organization that's doing, and it never it never fails, man. Like whenever I'm working with a great nonprofit, they're doing wonderful work that people don't know about.
Wow.
They're doing wonderful work that no one
And I
knows
know a
about.
lot of people that run not for profits or community based, and they're doing amazing work,
Yeah.
and they feel called to it. They're passionate about it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you sense the
Yes.
passion, so you say, okay, let's take all of that and let's make sure that it's being communicated the right way. Let's look at your donor base. Let's untangle. So we literally do that. Like, in the first part of
Yeah.
our engagement is we really stop and look at all the different pieces that they're working with. Who are they meeting with? Who are they
Yeah.
communicating to? What does their website look like? What does their mail pieces look like? You know, and what's the biggest unlock is, what do your constituents even think about you? Because see, a
Ooh.
lot of times they're running off of passion, right? They're running off of
Yes.
passion. Like, I want to do this. I want to help people. We want to do this. This is our goal. That's good. But you need to know, how are you being perceived? Because
Mm.
sometimes there's a mismatch. And this has been the biggest unlock that we find with organizations. Big cheat sheet right here, y'all.
Yeah.
Like, find out what your supporters, what words they're using to describe you. So when we
What
go
words
in,
are they using
yeah.
to
Oh,
describe
the
you? I
words are
love that.
everything. The words are
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
So we go in and we go deep with their constituents. When they give us permission, we survey them. If they let us be real bosses, we'll do an in person. We'll do
Yeah. Love
we'll
it.
get them in a room. And talk about the organization. And oftentimes, the founders are shocked, or they're surprised. They're like, we didn't realize that this is how people were describing us.
Mm.
So then we go back and say, okay, now let's look at all your copy. Let's look at your messaging, and let's marry these two, right? Let's
Mm-hmm.
get consistent with the impression that you're making, or let's change your product, because maybe the way that they're
Oh,
perceiving you is not
yes.
how you want to be perceived.
Right.
We found
I
that
was
one
going to
too.
say, do you find that people are saying, we didn't even know we were coming off that way?
Oh
Because
yeah.
you know what? As an executive coach, I often have people do that for their personal lives.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'll
Personal
ask,
branding,
they'll do that.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Say,
yeah.
what 3 words? Ask 10 people what 3 words, and let's see which, if there's out of those 30 words, are
Yeah.
any of them the same or mean the same? And
Absolutely.
people, it's a huge light bulb for folks to say, oh, I didn't know I was good at that,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
I didn't know that's how I was being perceived.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it's a
Yeah.
confirmation. Sometimes it is a confirmation, like, okay, I think that we're going in the right direction. We just need to amplify what we're doing.
Uh-huh.
So we go in and help the organizations to find that out. And that is a lesson that can be taken into personal, like you're saying.
Mm-hmm. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Why do you think people have, how do things even get tangled to begin with?
It's just the nature of the game. You're
Yeah.
busy. I mean, nonprofit
You're doing the work.
CEOs,
Yeah.
nonprofit CEOs are on the ground. They're talking to donors. They're making sure services are being rendered right. They just get really, really, and that passion really drives people into a lot of activity, that takes them. You're not seeing all the pieces. You
Yeah.
can't. You know,
Very true.
you can't. You need, and what we find is, it's the nonprofits, they're in a growth spurt. So they're crossing a growth marker. Maybe they're going from 1 million to 5 million, or they're going to
Yeah.
5 to 10 or something like that. The smaller, and so they're in these growth spurts. And what's happening is that their capacity, in the organization, to be able to dig deep into that messaging, into that data,
Mm-hmm.
their capacity is limited. And so
Yeah.
those organizations are not like the big, 1 billion, 2 billion,
Yeah.
budgets, where they have these big departments. And so people like us are a godsend, because we're able to go in and be your partner without you having to have a whole department. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So
yes.
so we end up we end up doing the de facto work, that department lead would do, or we help your team. We go in and help their teams
Oh,
and
that
really
makes so much
empower them.
sense.
And that's I really like that part personally.
I would love that. But you know why I love the idea of that? Because the the CEO could see the value of what you do.
Yeah.
Or maybe the director of fund development or donor relations could see the value in what you do. But if you have your team involved in it, everybody across the board gets to see the value and they cooperate. And I think it might even help them watch how they're presenting.
Oh yeah, all
or
day.
how they're, get everyone on board with the messaging. And it does make sense to me that when companies are in growth spurts, that's when they need to call you, because you have people maybe that have been with you from the beginning. They know your full story.
Yeah.
And as you're being introduced to new people, you, back to my Girl Scout reference, how you make new friends but keep the old.
Right. Exactly.
And what are you telling these new people? What are you telling new neighborhoods and new groups of people about who you are? And let me ask you, how are we making sure that we're maintaining this, but how do we give our same old story, but in a way that impacts the lives of more people? So it makes perfect sense that at those times of transition, elevation, growth, that they would need that. I want to ask you something about mission and engagement. When you have organizations have a clear mission, how does it affect the engagement of their people? Because I think we just kind of tapped into it a little bit with working with their staff.
Yeah. So it starts internally, actually, believe it or not. So I like to see it within the organization. When there's some clarity on mission in an organization, folks get excited. Folks feel like, okay, I know why I'm coming to work. And there's a sense of camaraderie. There's a sense of energy behind the work. And when that happens, I mean, the actual service is better. I mean, everything happens when everybody is unified under a mission. But we have to review mission. I mean, there have been studies that say that you have to communicate your mission to the same people about 100 times before they even start hearing it.
What?
So, yeah, exactly.
99 and a half won't do. I'm churchy.
99 and a half won't do. Let me tell you, all right? It won't. That's not going to happen, right? You have to be adamant, man, about communicating. You got to do it over and over and over again. I mean, so I got small kids, right?
Yes.
So anybody with kids understands, right? You got to repeat certain things. I don't know how many times before,
you do over and over. And I call it keeping the main thing the main thing.
Yes.
Because we can be so easily distracted. And even with like leading teams and teams of volunteers, it's so easy to get distracted, annoyed, even with each other.
Oh, yeah.
But when we remember, this is what we're here to do, it helps us. I think people get along better.
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah.
I think it's even a huge part of team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It brings teams together for sure. Within the organization, if there's and then the cool thing about getting mission alignment inside your organization is that every piece starts to see what they do to contribute to that mission.
Good.
So in the best case scenarios, I've seen organizations have an overall mission, but then each division kind of develops their mission underneath the mission. So how do you support the mission? So they craft some words, you know what I mean? It's all about the words. I'm telling you, it's all about the words, So they craft copy, they craft creeds or, principles that they go on. And then the best leaders, they communicate those things, in some sort of regular format, right? So either we're gonna like hit it in a meeting, or we're gonna, every time we get together for certain projects, we're gonna review it. Repeating it is everything, and
I
that's
love
what
it.
people have to do.
And I have this thing we call answering the 7 questions, and I often will say to leaders, you whenever you're in front of your people, you want to be answering one of these 7 questions. And the very first one is, this is who we are. The second one is, this is what we do. You have to always remind people, hey, remember, this is why we're here. Hey, this is why we're here. this is why we're here.
Yeah.
So are there any stories you can remember of that changed an outcome, or an organization had an increase, or something that had to do with aligning their mission within their people?
Absolutely. So we work with a really, really great organization on the north side of Chicago that worked with women who came out of, battered home situations,
Mm.
many times even homeless. And this organization takes these women in, lets them live, it's a residential situation. So lets them live with them, you know, sometimes up to 5 years,
Oh, wow.
while they get education, while they become empowered, and they take care of their children, so they can go to school, during the day. I mean,
This is
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, it's crazy, right? And so this organization they were in a place where they were growing, but they were having trouble with funding, keeping
Yeah.
donors, and even just keeping donors engaged. So we went in and we did some time with them, and so we looked into their messaging. We were able to communicate with their donor base and their supporters and we did that analysis. Okay, like what do they think of you, and what do you think
Ah,
they think of you? you
yeah.
know,
It's
um,
almost like group therapy. What are you
yeah.
saying? But what are they hearing?
Right. And we found that the words that their constituents were using for why they support them it was all empowerment language. They empower these women. They're not just giving
Yeah.
them a handout. It was all about the empowerment. It wasn't so much about the benevolence. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that is very
It,
interesting.
it
Not
wasn't
they
yeah.
care, they didn't use words like care for,
Yeah, there
rescue,
was a little bit of
like
that, but not
those
really,
kinds
not
of
a lot.
things.
They
Yeah.
want to see them empowering people, and so
Wow.
we realized, okay, this donor base, and see, the language didn't reflect it, right? If you
Right.
went to their website, we're caring for these people, we're giving them another chance,
Yes. A soft
but
place to land is what
yeah,
I
yeah,
would
yeah,
have been
exactly.
writing.
But what
Yeah.
we said, okay, and that's great. I mean, they are
Uh-huh.
doing that. That's
Yeah.
part of it. But the thing that really provoked people, to want to give more was empowerment. So we went
Wow.
in and I like that personally because that's me right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Because
I'm all
now
about
it's not
empowerment.
just
I could tell that's
they
where you at too.
yes, it is.
I'm all about empowerment. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we went in and did some language updates with those guys. Really, we rebuilt their site from the studs, man. We just took it, and just rebuilt it
Wow.
completely. And I mean, their online engagement went through the roof. They had a lot more support that year. We saw increases in donor activity. Some lapsed donors came back. It
That
was a
is
really it
amazing.
was a really great thing, and they were even going through some leadership transitions, and were able to navigate that well. But once again, that clarity about this is the impact that our donors want to see. This is the
Yeah.
part of what we do that really connects with them, and say, okay, well, let's
Yes.
talk about it. Let's talk about it
Yeah.
a lot more. So yeah,
I
that was
love
a
that.
wonderful situation. We really enjoyed working with them.
And what I really love about that story is it wasn't that they had to do anything new.
Mm-hmm.
They just simply had to amplify
Mm-hmm.
it's like putting the right accent on the right syllable. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's like, once again, it's untangling. So we had to take all the
Yeah.
things, all the aspects of what they do, all the aspects of their impact, and find
And
out
what's the
what
most attractive? Yes.
exactly what makes the most impact on your donor base. What do people really want to support?
Yeah.
And that was important. So it was very important that we found that out.
That's beautiful. And talk about you empowering them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Empower them to thrive. I
Yes.
have a phrase. I think all nonprofits should be profitable.
Yes. Uh-huh.
That's that's where I think, because you think about, once again, and we talk about the jokes, right? About, oh yeah, we're a nonprofit, so
Right.
we don't have
Yes.
pencils. We don't have pens. We got
Yes.
pencils or whatever. But
Yes.
truthfully, I look at nonprofits as these agents, right?
Mhm.
That are out here. There are people who make a lot of money with corporate, or they've
Mhm.
become wealthy, and they're finding they may have made impact through their companies, but they're trying to find another way to make impact that they can really see and be
Yeah.
tangible. So these are
Yeah.
your major donors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these folks, we need to show these nonprofits that they're the ones. You're the agents. You're the
Oh,
agents of
wow.
change. And
Mm-hmm.
so really having empowered nonprofits, they should be profitable.
Yeah.
They should be able to steward, heavy resources, to
Absolutely.
do the good that they're doing in the world. I
I
mean,
firmly believe it.
that's where
Hmm.
it's
I
at.
agree. And I believe they should be able to pay their people a
Oh,
competitive
oh
salary
yeah, yeah,
so that they can be able to have the highest level of talent that they can.
exactly.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
your mission is worth it.
Absolutely. And I mean,
Hmm.
I don't know this. I don't. This may go somewhere else, but
That's
I don't
okay.
believe in this idea that you can either do good work or you can be successful.
Come on. Or make good money.
Yeah, or make good money.
Yeah, you can either do good work or you can make good money. You should
That
be able to do both.
I think that you should be able to do both.
Hmm.
And I know people who do both.
Yes,
And
yes.
the world is better, in my opinion, when people do both. you
It
know,
really is. The Bible
because
says, when the righteous prosper, the city rejoices.
I'm
So
saying there it
people
is.
that are doing
There it
righteous
is.
work, they need to prosper.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
they need to prosper. And I like the idea of corporations looking for ways to impact their community. Have you been seeing, is this trending at all, with partnerships with for profit corporations and not for profit organizations coming together? They're looking for, where can I bring my people and my money?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hmm.
It's happening a lot. And I'll say in this particular season right now, there's more awareness of that, as
Hmm.
our new administration in Washington has been really
Yes.
making a lot of changes with how they've
Yep.
been funding nonprofits. And so,
Yes.
it got our whole sector in a hizzy.
Whew.
You know,
I can
uh,
only
little
imagine.
earlier this year. I mean, I mean,
Oh,
the fear articles that I get in my inbox every day.
yes, and people, the temptation is to panic and say, "What
And
are we
and
gonna
I mean,
do?
I
Where are we
get
gonna
it.
get
I
our
mean, like,
money?"
I get it, but what it's doing, honestly, in my opinion, what it's doing, it's forcing us, nonprofit community, to be clearer than ever about our mission,
Yeah,
so that
yeah,
we're not
yeah.
reliant, on those funds. And
Yep.
so now those government funds, those federal funds, even state funds,
Mhm.
are not, they're not a crutch, okay? You know,
Yes,
they're not a crutch. Like, okay, now I have to really communicate my message to make sure that funding continues.
I love it. You know what's amazing? Wow, when you just said those federal funds are not a crutch, it does put a demand on, now I've gotta polish things up.
Yeah, you gotta show up.
Now, yeah, I gotta show up for real, and
Yeah.
I gotta because now we've got people making decisions, and look, I don't want to say competition, but it is
Oh
competition. They
yeah.
have
Oh yeah.
options.
It
So, what
is.
do you think that funders are looking? People that are supplying funding, or they've got some money, but they don't want to pay taxes on this money. I'd rather give it away. What are they looking for in an organization, particularly when it comes to missional alignment?
The same thing they're looking for in their company, ROI.
Oh, let's
So
talk about that.
yeah. So if I seriously, and,
Yeah.
and and I'm
If
the
I
same
give you
way.
my money, what are
What
you
are you
going to do
doing
with
with it?
it? And can you show me?
Can you?
Don't just tell the story.
I'm saying,
Can you
show
show
me,
me?
show me, and how
Wow.
you show. You're communicating. Messaging is
Oh my
everything.
goodness.
Okay,
Yes.
it's everything. So the the nonprofit that waits till Giving Tuesday to start sending out a bunch of emails, or they wait until they
Oh
got an
no.
event. They finally got, okay, my golf outing's happening. Now I'm going to communicate with the donors. You
Yeah.
need to show impact all year. I tell
Okay.
people, so nonprofits are, at the end of the year, there's always a big push because, folks
Always.
they offloading that tax money, right? You know,
Yes.
um, I always say, your end of year campaign starts on January 1st. That's when your
Oh.
end of year campaign starts. You need to start building the case. right?
Yes.
For supporting your organization all year. And
Mm-hmm.
so communicating impact is key. Being able to even quantify it is very key, right?
Love it.
And so people
Love
who
it.
are donors who are very, data centric, very, results oriented, and
Mm-hmm.
especially if you got anybody that's in the businesses of, engineering or anything that is
Yeah.
very, very, logic based, you want to be able
Mm-hmm.
to communicate that type of, okay, we were able to increase, the efficacy of, our housing, by 44%.
Yes.
You want to be able to give those type of numbers as much as you can,
Mm-hmm.
and so we help organizations do that. Many times they don't realize they got great numbers. So we'll go in and we'll find them though. We'll find the great
Yes.
numbers. I mean, because
Yeah.
the work is being done. It's just maybe not being measured, or it's maybe not being recorded in a way that's palatable. So
Yeah.
we help them communicate it. But yeah, that's what the donors are looking for. They're looking for
Mm-hmm.
ROI. Okay.
Same thing. Because you know what? This is a depending on what organization or what industry you're pitching to or you're presenting to, you've got one face that's a public face for everybody that needs to be as pretty as possible. But
Mm-hmm.
then you've got specific pitches that you can send to
Yep.
people in certain industries. And when I think you mentioned something along those lines, it reminds me so much of just asking for a raise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, the personality of your boss
Yep.
or the person that has to sign off on this. Are they the narrative storytelling person where
Yeah.
you can tell the story of when I came to the organization and now I've done this and these are the problems I've solved? Or are
Yep.
they the bullet point data person to say, when I came here, we were at this, now we're at this number, now we're at that number? And so if folks have that kind of information at their fingertips, they can be crafting it. Let me
Oh
ask
yeah.
you this, considering where we are politically in the USA, how is Thrive preparing? Um, I don't want to prophesy to you, but how
Come on.
how is Thrive preparing? I know you do hand-to-hand partnerships with your people, with your
Yeah.
clients. Are you preparing any type of webinars or general educational things for not-for-profits?
Yes, absolutely we are.
Good.
So yeah, the scalable part of what we do, is we're looking to provide webinars. Now we did a few webinars before, but
Okay.
we're looking to actually in this fall to start a webinar series where
Good.
we're gonna really start to dig into how nonprofits can really dig into this season and they can become more resilient.
Yes.
Going into year end, going into once again with the increased competition now, for
Yes.
dollars. We're looking to do that, and we're also looking to start some online education.
Okay.
Some folks, they're like, I just started my nonprofit, and so
Yeah.
I don't really need to bring in a consultant right now. I just need to learn some things myself because I'm a one person shop. You
Mhm.
know, and so we're providing some tools that they can use right where they're at.
Beautiful.
And during that
Beautiful.
time, they can grow, and as their organization grows, they may want to engage a little further. So yeah, we're developing some things that we can do, and as well
Good.
we're developing a team as well that can handle it. So
Good.
we can
Yeah.
expand what we do through our team. And you had my good friend Beverly Moore on not too long
Yes.
ago, who I
She's
have
so
done some.
smart.
I love working with Beverly. Let me tell you.
Yes.
Man, she and I
Yes.
worked on a rebrand for a ministry nonprofit,
Mhm.
and just I loved working with her. And so she comes in and works on some projects with us, and so we're looking to expand the team and expand what we do to serve people in this time.
Oh, that would be awesome. Hey, so we're going to stop right here for this one. I am going to ask you to stick around for our Patreon supporters. I want to ask you 3 actions that a CEO can take in the next 30 days, kind of a kickstart to get them ready or even to measure their readiness. I think that's probably another resource you should develop of how people can, how these not-for-profits can measure their readiness because the money's not gone.
Oh no,
God still
I
has it
always
for
say
you.
that the money never left the earth.
Oh, it's not going
It's
right.
here.
It's here. You just have to go to this brook dried up. It don't mean everything is dry now. You just
Yes,
gotta go.
find a different brook
You just
or
gotta go
make one.
somewhere else. What'd you say?
Or make one.
Or make one. I know that's right. If one well, come on, Jacob, you just dig another well.
Come on,
and eventually you're going to have things flowing for your organization. Man, thank you so much. This has been really eye-opening for anybody that's in or around a not-for-profit, anybody looking to, hey, you got some money, you don't want to pay taxes on it, you rather give it, I'm with you. If you're knowing what to look for. And also, I think a lot of this we could take to our personal lives and recognize, do I have a mission for my life? And is it in alignment with what I do? Do the people on my team even know what it is? What it is we're trying to accomplish here in this family,
Yeah.
And it can help us kind of squash some squabbles and keep the main thing the main thing. But you are an absolute delight. Beverly was right about you. Beverly had my number one show last year.
Yeah, I saw.
Yes,
Nice.
the number one show last year was Beverly. So maybe you got the Beverly juice, and yours will be number one.
Come on now, Beverly juice. Let's go.
Yeah, yours will be number one. But thank y'all for listening, and we're going to stop right here, but we'll be back with Patreon.
Catch me on social media at PR The Builder. Visit me online at pamross.com. Catch you next time.